To anyone associated with Arizona men's basketball, I want to start off by saying there is no way that you can fix this. What you did to my bracket, and more importantly, my hopes, can never be forgotten or forgiven. I decided to ride with y'all even though everyone said you guys blow it every single time. And guess what, Wildcats? You proved them right. I haven't been this let down since I found out Santa Claus wasn't real, about halfway through last year. To Arizona head basketball coach Tommy Lloyd, had an incredible regular season and can't win the big one in the tournament. Your Gonzaga's showing. Your whole team should be sponsored by DiGiorno because y'all sure as hell don't deliver when it matters. Now, to me, it looks like you guys just relaxed and thought you were going to Tom Cruise your way through Princeton, and you were nonchalant with that 10-point lead, and they just outgutted you. Now, I'm shocked Tabellas disappeared quicker than someone who knows who's on the Epstein list, but nobody else made up for it. I know that Arizona fans are let down, and you should be. That performance was unacceptable. And I do want to say congrats to Princeton. You guys deserve it. And even though you play in a conference that lets dudes play against women, I tip my hat. And to Arizona, I want to let you guys know, you are officially hereby exiled from the trust tree. I hope at least one of you knows the Heimlich. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
March Madness is upon us. If you're betting, make sure to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code CRANE, C-R-A-I-N. Bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code CRANE only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Flaming Dragon over here to my right. What is your strategy when it comes to betting in March Madness?
You know, I really like taking the dogs, and we haven't seen a 12-5 upset yet.
Nope.
So there has to be one coming around the corner. I'm really liking a 12-5 coming down the stretch here. Which one? I don't know yet, but we will see.
So what I've been doing is taking a lot of these multi-game parlays here. I haven't done any same-game parlays yet, just because the over and unders, I don't really know yet how teams are going to react in the tournament. But multiple game parlays, because at the end of the day, a team's goal is to win, right?
True.
Not necessarily cover a certain spread. But yesterday, that kind of got me with Virginia going down. I had them in one of my parlays.
Yeah, so well, you'll see the teams, especially the dogs in this tournament. This is all they got. They're going to put everything on the line. You saw that with Furman against Virginia. So if you get anything with a double point spread, 10.5 plus, I wouldn't be estranged to putting that money on the dog to cover that spread.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use promo code CRANE.
Let's go ahead and start with some of the upsets yesterday. We're going to get to Arizona, but Virginia. You guys can't get the ball in? Y'all can't get the ball in? I am shocked that it was Kehoe Clark that made this mistake for Virginia. I had Virginia beating Furman. Had the game. You had the game won. You're up 2. You're throwing the ball in. You've got one timeout. There's 8 seconds left, something like that. And instead of calling the timeout, Kehoe Clark just throws the ball up in the air, down the court. Furman intercepts it, goes right to a Furman guy, kicks it to Pegues from Furman, hits a 3, and guess what? You lose. But you know what? After you guys got away with the double dribble, I don't know if it could have happened to a better group of people.
Yep.
That's where I feel about it.
You guys will never let that.
No, they deserve all the bad things in life to happen to them. All of them. Every single one of them. Them and Samir Dowdy.
Well, you got...
That runs deep.
Now, I will say, I have San Diego State in my Sweet 16. They ended up beating Charleston. A lot of people picked Charleston. But now that Furman matchup, that's a hell of a matchup with San Diego State there. I'm interested to see how that game goes down with Furman's experience and San Diego State's experience, because San Diego State just big boyed them. But to this Arizona game. I watched the whole game because I knew the importance of Arizona in my bracket. Picked them not only in the Final Four, but to win it. They were up. Princeton cut the lead down to 1 at halftime. Arizona came out and did what you expected a 2-seed or the better team to do. Got a 10-point lead. And it was like with 12 minutes to go, they just relaxed. Couldn't hit a shot. Where the shot selection wasn't good, but even when they were taking good shots, they weren't making them. And Princeton hit the shots when it mattered, and they out-physicaled them. They outgutted them. Everything you hear about the Pac-12 in football was what I saw Princeton do to the Pac-12 in basketball yesterday, which to me means you relax. I was watching Tommy Lloyd over there, the head coach. He just walking around looking at his stupid-ass little note card, trying to write down, we're trash, about halfway through there. I was shocked. Tabellas, he didn't even exist the last 6 minutes of the game. I was as shocked by that one as anything. I was not as shocked, obviously, by Furman. I was not as shocked by Penn State beating Texas A&M the way that they did. That one shocked me the most, to be honest with you.
First of all, when that shot went in for Furman yesterday, it became officially March. That's when March really started. Yeah. And it's the best time of year. There have been a couple teams for the last 6 weeks that I've said, I don't really believe in these teams. Virginia and Arizona and to a certain extent, Baylor. Well, those are the 2, 3, and 4 seeds in that South region there. So like you said, I wasn't shocked about Virginia. I was kind of shocked the way they lost because typically once they do have a lead late in the game, they're not going to make a lot of mistakes. But the Arizona one did surprise me. It's what makes March Madness great. Unless you're a Princeton alum, you probably didn't have Princeton upsetting Arizona this year. I did have Arizona still going to the Elite Eight because I wanted to see that Arizona-Alabama matchup so badly. But while we're in the South, let's just talk about this. These 2 losses, that helps Baylor a lot. So if Baylor can get out of the first round, that makes their road easier.
Alabama too.
And then Alabama, boys. I mean, they put up 54 points in the first half, 96 points overall. Guess how many points Brandon Miller had?
Yeah.
0.
Let me ask you this, David. How, if you're an Alabama fan right now, to me, I feel like there's 2 ways to look at it. One, you were able to win a game in the NCAA tournament without Brandon Miller playing well, or just even scoring a point. Now, that was against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Mm-hmm. Okay, you're not going to be getting those looks against San Diego State and Maryland, who's an athletic team, a physical team. So do you take solace in the fact that you won the game without Brandon Miller playing well, or are you worried because Brandon Miller threw up a goose egg in his first ever NCAA tournament when it matters the most?
This is what I said to Mike Golick Jr. yesterday. I've watched maybe 65, 70% of Alabama's games this season. They win in so many different ways. We talked about it. They beat Houston this year when I think Brandon Miller was scoreless in a half, but 8 points overall. They won yesterday when he was held scoreless. They won on the road at South Carolina in overtime when Brandon Miller needed to score 41 points. They've won when Bediako's been in foul trouble. They've won when Javon Quinterly's turned the basketball over. Yesterday, they had guys hitting threes I didn't even know played for their team. Brand new guys, and I watched 70% of their games. Darby Lou was saying the same thing. She's watched all these games with me. She said, I don't even know who these guys are. There was one guy went 3 for 5 from 3. So I think it bodes well in the tournament, even though your star had 0 points in the first NCAA game, that you were able to still put up that many points in a defining win. Because like you said, they're not going to get those looks every single round, but also everyone's going to hone in on Brandon Miller.
For sure.
Right? Now, 0 points, that's still not great, but I don't know. The road just got so much easier because like we talked about, Virginia was going to throw a lot of different looks at them, really slow down the game. Virginia is out now. Arizona still had bigs. I mean, Tabella's 7 foot, can hit any sort of shot. You had Ballo down low. They're out of the way now too. So the South just got really interesting to me.
It did. Flaming?
Well, the thing about Alabama right now, obviously, the reason you were the number 1 seed out of this whole thing because the depth that you had. And that showed yesterday in that game. But San Diego State.
Yeah.
The thing about San Diego State, I'll say this right now. I mean, you look at a Charleston team, I know they're 31-3, 30-win team. They average 80 points a game. Mm-hmm. San Diego State locks you down on defense. They're big, they're physical, they're fast, and they're a smart basketball team. So I'll be interested in the whole Virginia. I didn't believe in Virginia that much, but I believed in Virginia enough to beat Furman.
Sure.
Right? And to probably go into the next game with a pretty good chance to win. Then you run into Alabama. I didn't think they had the offensive firepower, and their defense wasn't good enough to run with Bama, so I'm not surprised there. I sat on this show yesterday and said I didn't believe in Arizona after what I saw in the last year's tournament. There's something about the Pac-12 teams. Other than UCLA plays with a little bit of physicality.
Yeah.
With Hawkheads and these guys, they're not
They're like the Utah of the
football,
like in the basketball side.
So I'm not surprised when UCLA just plays a little bit of different basketball. They're more together and they're more physical. So I'm not surprised by Arizona. I don't think about anybody is. Great win for Auburn. I thought Auburn played, if anything, shot one of the best games that I've seen in a long time against an extremely good Iowa team. The one thing about Iowa, one of the best scoring teams in the nation.
Third best
scoring team in the nation. I mean, that's a fact.
No, I get it.
And you ran them off the 3-point line. So, I mean, Auburn's got to take away what the teams that do best, and you go to Houston. Houston didn't look great.
Well, Shed looked. You see what Kelvin Sampson said?
Yeah, the groin was showing.
Kelvin Sampson, after the game, said he is legitimately worried about Shed's knee and Sasser's groin. Those two guys aren't going. Houston, you're cooked.
Yeah.
You might as well take them out of the oven and start putting the serving plates out. But when you look at that Auburn game, I watched the whole game. I was shocked. It was a tale of two halves. First half, Slow offensively on both sides. I think Auburn was 1 for 9 from 3. Iowa was 0 for 9 from 3. It's 31-26 at half, and then all of a sudden an explosion in the second half. I mean, Auburn scores over 50. I believe Iowa scored almost 50 in that second half. So there were 2 different halves, and you were able to win both halves. So we talk about versatility and winning in multiple ways. Auburn, that may have been the best game they played all year, in my opinion. It may have been. And we always talk about getting hot at the right time. Now, are they going to beat Houston even with shedding them hurt? I don't know. I've watched Auburn go 8 minutes.
Maybe, man. Maybe.
I don't know. But if this team has already gone as far as Walker Kessler and Jabari Smith Jr.'s team did last year.
Oh, yeah.
They lost to Miami in the second round. So if you're Auburn and you're looking at running up against Houston and you beat them, you may end up seeing Drake in the Sweet 16.
Yep.
Drake or Indiana.
Yeah, or a banged up, or a Miami team without a low post.
Without a low, and maybe a revenge game. But if that group for Auburn plays the way they did, Trey Donaldson's hitting the way he did. KD Johnson plays out of control, but also under control. Just think about it. But Janai Broome, that was the difference. When you got a guy that can score with his back to the basket, when you got a guy that's a threat to even make 1 or 2 threes a game, had a big one yesterday. That was Auburn in its best form yesterday, and playing in Birmingham helps. They got another game in Birmingham against Houston. It is a de facto home game. They win this one, and Bruce Pearl takes his team to the Sweet 16. You can burn my bracket and my house down, because I'll be a happy boy from the
I told you boys, Papa Cone has Auburn in the Elite 8.
Dude, he's got Furman in the Final Four.
He has Furman in the Final Four.
Wow.
Hold on. Papa Cone picked 2 16 over 1 seed upsets because those 1 seeds didn't offer me football scholarships. So that's how the family
But he picked Fairleigh Dickinson over Purdue, right? Who plays today.
Yep.
And then who was the other one?
He picked
Howard over Kansas?
Corpus Christi over Alabama.
Okay.
I thought Kansas came out, looked good.
Kansas looked good.
A little scary in the first half there for a second, but their depth started to show. The Arkansas-Illinois game was one of my favorite games.
Yes.
One of my favorite games. That next matchup between Kansas and Arkansas is going to be high-level, athletic basketball.
Kansas better strap it up.
For sure.
You blink one time, Arkansas is going to run you out of the building.
You could make the argument that was one of Arkansas, if not the best of Arkansas's games in round 1 against that. They ran them the whole time. Hey, YouTube, do us a favor. We know the madness is here. You're going to be checking out your bracket all day, but if you got a little time, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, turn that notification bell button on as well. We really, really appreciate it, and it helps us drop more content for you guys to consume.